Everything's going through you. Everybody else's mics is muted except you.
So
When
do
they
I
not
mute
on,
my
you
mic?
just gonna mute.
No, not you. If everything's going through you, you gotta keep your mic on.
All time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, but everyone else could be muted, but this is still gonna work
Yeah,
through it.
everything is
Okay.
supposed to.
So what happens, Uni, you got the audio coming out of this feed here?
One more time.
You got the audio coming through here? I think this is two. We said what was
Yeah,
this?
that one was two.
Now, Latif, you got the thing, right? I just started the show, that's all.
Oh,
That might help.
Right. So, everybody else except you.
I'll get them another one. Get here.
What time you told them the people to be here?
12.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You tuned in to another episode of Strategic Moves. I'm your host, Kenn Dowell. This is a place where we bring art, culture, politics, and business all together, and we do it every Tuesday right here in the WOVU 95.9 studios. But when I'm not shooting this podcast, I am the owner of Strategic Resources, where we specialize in political campaigns, government, and public relations work. I've been doing it all around this city for over 25 years. Met some fascinating people along the way, and we want to make your next move a strategic move. So this program gives me an opportunity to do just that. I bring in some of the people I met. We sit down, we talk about our experiences, and maybe you get something out of it that'll help you with your business or your personal life. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, all I need you to do is hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell as well, so that you will know the next time this program's coming on if you're watching us online or on our social media. But if you're listening to us on the radio, you can go on and tune in by just dialing in to 216-271-0959. That's 216-271-0959. And you can be a part of this conversation. This is What's on Your Mind Tuesdays right here at WOVU. Right here in the heart of Cleveland. So we're going to get started on our program today. We're going to get going because we got a full program today. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to the producer who helps me pull this program together, none other than DJ True. What's on your mind today, brother? It's Tuesday. What's on your mind, Cleveland? What's up on your mind today, son?
I'm kind of upset today, man.
Man, what you upset about, man? Y'all be killing me.
Oh, man. No, to be honest, it was kind of a tragic situation. Did you hear about the Shaker Heights Library shooting?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that was a pretty sad situation because probably back in like 2010, I used to have a youth mentoring group called the Futuristic Movement, and that was one of our meeting places. And we used to have a lot of kids come up to that library, and we tried our best, to keep them in line and keep them engaged. And I was proud that we were able to do that. So to hear, all these years later, an actual shooting, a fatal shooting happened there,
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of upset about that and kind of sad because that library has a lot of resources and a lot of rooms for people to meet over there. So it could have easily been an innocent bystander or somebody else that wasn't even involved in that altercation that could have got hurt. So it was messed up.
Yeah, it was pretty messed up, man. I heard what happened there, man. I was really upset to hear what was going on there, and what I'm really, I guess, what I really want to say out of that situation um, is that I don't want the community to kind of overreact, you know, because this is what I mean by overreaction. overreaction is that I believe as a citizen and as a whole, Shaker Heights is police department safety and everything else, and what it does for its citizens there always seems to be on point and on point for all the stuff that it's always been doing over the years, and I think it's good. And I think that in a city like that, where it's hard trying to find recreation and things for those students to do, which they do have a lot of stuff there for the kids to do, but you do have the thing where kids hang out.
Right.
And I like to believe wholeheartedly that you don't have bad kids hanging out at the library. You see what I mean? And I just want to think that this was an incident that was unfortunately a bad incident, but nevertheless, it was just an incident. And I hope the city do what it needs to do to bounce back, but I don't want them to make it as if, things are really messed up and this is how we're going to do things from now on. I just really don't.
Yeah, I just think that it's a little concerning. I don't want overreaction, but the sad part about it, it was the 15-year-old that had the weapon that
Mhm.
shot the 18-year-old.
Right.
So it's like, where are 15-year-olds, finding weapons, and
Mhm.
what's fostering that? So there's a deeper reason that we got to go into about, back to gun violence, but just about, who's watching our kids, that they're able at 15 to get weapons, and
Mhm.
why did he even feel like he needed a gun to go into the library?
Well, that's why I say I don't.
Like, why you need a gun in the
Yeah,
library?
yeah. That's why I say I believe it's an isolated incident that I hope Shaker Heights deal with. And Shaker Heights do a good job of always coming through with prevention and all kinds of things that they need to do to dig into it. But again, I don't want people, because there are kids and this is why I'm saying that. I'm gonna say it this way. It's because we were when my kids were smaller and they were going to middle school and stuff like that and elementary, the libraries were the ultimate daycares. I mean, I'm just keeping
Right.
100. I mean,
They still
they
are,
still
though.
are,
They
man. And we,
still
we
are.
used to drop our kids off at, I mean, we didn't drop them off. They left from school, walked across the street to the library. They stayed in the library till I was able to get them. And they had programs in the library. They had meals that the kids ate. They serviced them in the library. And this was in Cleveland Heights. And I imagine Shaker and other places doing the same thing. That's why, and there were kids who hung out at the library, and there were the people in the staff in there who would make people move and do what they need to do. So I'm just saying, I don't want them to make it feel as if you take away that ability to know that you can still, even if you want to go hang out, you can still go there and have that. Versus we gonna shut it down and everybody now is a criminal. I see you standing in the library. You keep it moving, keep it moving.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want that.
yeah.
That what I
that
don't
would be really
that
sad.
that that'll
On
be
top
sad.
of
Yeah.
a fatal incident, and
Mhm.
now kids is discouraged to
Yeah.
even go to the library.
Go to the
We
library.
trying
Right.
to get them to engage in
Exactly.
education and read
Right.
and do all the stuff that they're not doing.
And
So now,
socialize, because
yeah,
that's the way they socialize. The ones who want to, they'll socialize there. So we don't want to take away that socialization by because of something that happened by one guy. And that's all I'm saying.
right. Yeah.
So I want to get into my guests we got here today, because we got some
My
guests in
favorite people.
some of our favorite people walked in the door today, and I wanted to get them on the show today because they got a couple of things coming up, and I wanted to get them on so that they could get the word out about their one event. They're going to be coming on our podcast later on in the season, but that would have been after this event. So I wanted to make sure the public knew exactly what you were doing. Latif thought about it and said, "Hey man, let's squeeze them in on the radio." I said, "You know what? We can do that." Yeah. He said, "Let's go and put them in." I said, "You know what? That's a good idea." So we're going to have them come on down. Yeah. So today in our studio, I got Tenora Edwards. He's a really good friend of, matter of fact, I'm a better friend of her father's. That's who my buddy is her father. And we're going to talk a little bit about him. And we got Demetrius in. And they're going to talk about a few programs and projects that they got going on in the city of Cleveland. So without further ado, everybody, let's give a warm welcome to Tenora and Demetrius.
All right,
What's up? What's up? What's
Welcome
up?
to the show again.
Absolutely.
What's going on? So how y'all doing?
Busy.
Yeah, you always busy. You always
Woo!
This year we added on some new projects, and that's what I'm here to support. Demetrius and Alan, my son, have collaborated and put together an event titled Man Cave.
Yes.
Mm.
So we wanted it's incorporating support for entrepreneurs, for the community,
Mhm.
and I'll let him get into.
Well, hold on. Before
Okay.
wait. I gotta ask, how my man doing? How Mr. Edwards
He's
doing?
doing great, actually.
And you last time you came, you brought Melba Moore to the
brought
studio.
Melba,
Yeah.
yes.
So how are they doing?
Everybody's doing wonderful. And when she
Okay.
comes back into town,
Okay.
we'll bring her back here for
Yes.
a visit.
And so my man, Mr. Edwards, he's doing fine.
He's doing great.
That's
Yes.
excellent.
He's a part of this project
Excellent.
also.
Okay. So Tenora, before you pass it to him, because
Yes.
everybody don't know who you are, so give him
Absolutely.
just your really quick who Tenora is and what you do, and then we're gonna pass it on to my man. Let him do his thing. He's really good, so I'm holding him off. So we're gonna let him do his thing. He gonna do his thing. Yeah, he gonna do. We know he gonna do his thing. But Tenora, yeah, we gonna tell us who you are.
Put her out there.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No problem. I'm Tenora Edwards. I'm the founder of the Pink and Black Honors, the founder of Multi-Resource Networking Expo,
Okay.
which is an arm of the Pink and Black Honors, where we provide resources for entrepreneurs. I'm an advocate for women. I'm an advocate for entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
I'm a serial entrepreneur myself.
Mhm.
I just love my city. I love this community. I love creating spaces where people can grow, network, and learn from each other.
Excellent. How long Pink and Black you been doing that?
This will be our 3rd year.
Excellent.
So we're excited about that. We're bringing in Sherry Shepherd this year, and I'd
Ah.
like to come back on your
Okay.
show to talk
Okay.
about
Yes.
some of the honorees and
Mhm.
some of the speakers that will be hosting the event this year.
Excellent. And so part of that is she does quite a bit of things. She does that, and she has a woman's weekend event that you guys put together as well. And now it sounds like you're moving into our space. You're
That's
getting
right.
into the man space. You're coming to a man cave. Like you're coming on over.
Running off.
Yeah, so
I'm
I'm trying to get more. We can promote brothers. That's what I'm all about. So I was really happy to hear about that. And so I'm gonna let you introduce. Tell us who you brought in here to talk to us about.
Well, today I brought in Mr. Demetrius Harvey, who's a great advocate for men, who's very active in the community, and he supports the Pink and Black Honors. So he's our marketing person, and he will be hosting this year. So before we actually get into Man Cave,
Yes.
I am a visionary.
Mhm.
So God gives me different assignments.
Okay.
And when he landed Man Cave in my lap, I said, well, how am I going to do this? I'm not a man, but I knew that I had to create the foundation. So Demetrius and myself and my son, we went out to breakfast one morning, and we were sitting there going over, what I had envisioned for this space. And we were trying to come up with a title, and just out of the blue, I just heard clearly, every man is a son. So that's the title of this year's and our first Man Cave retreat.
Excellent. I like that title.
That's right. And the reason why every man is a son is so important is because we want it for everybody who's going to be in the room to be able to identify with each other in some way.
Yeah, stay in your mic.
To be
There you
able
go.
to identify with each other in some way. I'm sorry about that. So the truth is, every man is a son. You know what I mean? And even if they're not a father or a brother or a husband, one thing that we all have in common is that we're all sons.
That's correct.
So we're more alike than we are unalike. So being able to foster that and just gel that together amongst everybody in the room. So that's really what we want to be able to do. So Man Cave, every man is a son, April the 12th.
So what is that? Now, I know. So I want you got, my audience. I tell people, break it down like we in one of Tenora's kids. So break it down to us. What's happening? How many people? Where it is?
Yes.
What's the point? All of that.
Absolutely. So Man Cave 2025 is actually going to be held April the 12th through the 13th down in Warren, Ohio at the Grand Resort. It's a beautiful place. It's about 15 minutes out from Cleveland.
Okay.
So it's a nice drive, beautiful scenery, but that actual facility, we wanted to be able to not just come together and have conversation, but to be able to relax a little bit. You know what I mean? So we got basketball tournament going on. We got spade tournament going on.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We're doing pool, and there's many different restaurants and a full golf course. It's fully furnished with, activities for us to be able to, enjoy. But outside of that, we have a phenomenal lineup of speakers who are going to be coming to just be able to pour into men. We want it to be a space where men can collaborate, grow together, network. You know what I mean? We'll also have some job readiness opportunity, resume building. Chase Bank is coming on board with us as well to do some financial literacy teaching, and then we have different workshops as well that our different speakers are going to be.
So give us can you give us any speaker that might be coming?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're super excited. Joe Little is actually one of our keynote speakers. Joe Little from the Rude Boys, Grammy Award-winning artist. Man, we are so excited to have him in the building and to be able to share his experience. So we were having a conversation here recently about what pain does, and how that is equity that we have in life to be able to get us through some of the hard portions in life. And so Joe Little has such a phenomenal story about losing some people who are significantly close to him, in a very small time frame. What he has been able to do to pour back into himself to be able to continue to show up how he does.
That's good.
So we're excited to have him, and also on Sunday, one of our next keynote address is going to be Pastor Judah Early. From New Community Fellowship here in Cleveland. So he's going to do our farewell address there. But outside of that, we also have Philly Wheaton. Wheaton's going to come. He's doing Boss Talk.
I was about to say he's going to do some motivation, I imagine.
Indeed. We got Philly Wheaton coming, and we've been able to see all that he's been able to do here in the city of Cleveland, and just his contribution and his just his notoriety here. So we're excited to have him. Also, we have Waverly Willis. Waverly Willis will be there. Yes, indeed. We're hosting a conversation called Barbershop Talk. On barbershops, remember Saturday mornings when you would go into the barbershop and you hear the older men sharing and talking about all types of things. Sometimes those are the first times that you're hearing these types of conversations. You're a young man and you don't know how to, interject in the conversation, so you're just listening and taking it all in, and sometimes that's the first time that you start hearing men talk about money or relationships, what it is to be a father or things of that sort. People can contribute in the community. So barbershop talk is something that we're really looking forward to. We also have oh my goodness, Ishmael
from the Cleveland Public School. He's retired now, but he has a phenomenal session on wisdom and just being an elder, and also Kenyon is going to speak to our young kings. So this event is geared towards men of all ages.
I was going to ask you that. So what's the youngest you expecting to come in?
So we're anticipating 15 and up.
15 and up.
15 and up. Absolutely.
And so what you got for the 15-year-olds?
So sometimes I'm glad that you asked that, because we're actually having a session that we call Unks and Nephews. We're passing the wisdom on from the elders on to the youth, right?
I like that.
There is a quote that I heard that says, an old man can see more sitting down than a young man can in the top of a tree. Right.
Man, I want you to say that one more time.
And that is so profound, man.
I mean, Jesus.
An elder can see more sitting down than a young man at the top of a tree.
And you don't have, when they say elder, I want us to put a word on that, because elder doesn't necessarily mean that you are an old person.
Not at all.
It just means that you might be just a little more seasoned in that particular vision that you're seeking. That's all. Because, it don't mean that you got to be old. And I think some people do. And I also want to tell some of these young people that y'all young people running around calling yourself young. Y'all old.
Yeah. My grandfather used to say, he said, it doesn't matter the year on the car, it matters the amount of miles on the car.
Exactly. I've been tripping. They be calling me old. I'll be like, how old are you? Yeah. You can't tell me you're 35 and you young.
Right.
You can't. All right. If you're 30, if you're in your 30s, you're almost close to middle age these days, the way we live it. So I'm like, come on.
30 ain't young.
30 ain't, no. They actually acting young.
25 and older was grown. You look at 25 and older now, you be like, are you really 25?
Right. That's all I'm trying to say. So but I don't want to get us off subject, because the other thing I want to talk to you about is, what do you want to accomplish? You did that weekend. Everything went good. What do you and Tenora really want to get out of that weekend?
Well, you know what? I'm actually going to pass this to Tenora so she can let you all know the foundation of how this actually started in honor of her brother. This weekend is actually her brother's birthday weekend.
Wow.
And so he is actually the root and the foundation of why this is actually coming to
I
fruition.
remember.
So I'll go ahead and
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I'm
Right.
very intentional.
Mhm.
So we don't just create spaces
Mhm.
just to create them
Mhm.
for fun, but it is a celebration of his life, and it's a celebration. It's his birthday, April 12th, but just for his sons and for other individuals that have lost loved ones, that have lost fathers, that have lost that guidance. So this space is it has all of the different factors as far as entrepreneurship, mental health, resources.
Okay.
But also for those that have lost.
Yeah.
And you know, we shared, I don't know if you comfortable, but maybe you could touch on a little bit of how not only is it helping me heal and helping the community that I'm in heal, but it's helping you heal as well.
Sure. And what she means when she refers to loss, Tenora actually lost her brother a few years back.
Tree accident, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the story. Yeah.
And so I know last time we were together, she got a chance to share. So we were here recently just putting the final few touches on this Man Cave event, and we were sharing just about loss and what that does, you know, specifically grief, what that does to individuals. And so I experienced losing my father when I was 20 years old.
Okay.
In a very tragic way. Having to find him passed away in his apartment, and moving forward, doing initiatives like this, giving back to the community in ways outside of this that I do as well, without necessarily having a blueprint, right? I've already surpassed.
Those are the best ways, though, man.
Yeah.
When you don't have, because you have no boundaries.
Absolutely,
you know?
Absolutely, and it is, and it develops so much in you, you know, not just as a young man, but just as a person,
right?
In general,
right?
You know, when you are pushing and you're continuing to thrive every day, you're just waking up every day and saying, hey, whatever I can give, this is what I want to give.
Right.
However, we do also have those moments where we wish that we could share with those who were before us.
That's correct.
You know, because what we plan to do is just perfect on their design. You know what I mean? I'm named after my father, so I have always tried to just be the very best version of myself that I can,
That's correct.
while also bringing honor to him as well. So this, for me, being able to share in this initiative with Tenora and Al in honor of her brother and his uncle, also for me is near and dear to my heart, because I know my father and my grandfather are going to be standing right there with me as well, as we continue to just try to be the very best version of ourselves that we can be, and be the change in the city that we want to see. Because as you said earlier, even the young man who, you know, whatever happened in Shaker, you know, here recently, you know, we have to be the change that we want to see.
That's
and
correct.
So showing up every day to be that, you know, that's what I hope to accomplish in and of myself, but as an organization, as a group, as a team, to be able to bring some light to the city of Cleveland. You know what I mean? One step at a time.
That's beautiful, man. You guys are always doing good work here in the city of Cleveland. You, Tenora, like I say, her story, you can go to my podcast. As a matter of fact, what we'll do is we'll re-air her story from last year, so you get a chance to see. She had a very good story. And what she does for herself. And what I mean by that, she don't have to. There's no organization. There's nobody say that every year we have to do this or any of that. There's nobody giving her a chunk of money that says she has to do it. She raised it all, and they do a good job of it. So again, I want to thank you guys for coming on our program and doing that. Demetrius, you know, you're supposed to come on the podcast. We're supposed to do a show for you. He's a dynamic dude. We're going to do just a show with him, because he got a lot to talk about, and we'll make sure we follow up with you. Hey, before you go, though, he's good.
I talk too much. I'm sorry.
You good. Oh, you good. You're really good. Yeah, you're really good. And he works at a bank. I thought the brother, I thought he was like a minister or somebody. He said, he works. This dude, yeah. He got a corporate guy. I'm like, he's a corporate guy. So he's really, really a deep brother. And I can't wait to introduce you to our audience and get a chance to talk with you on that. But before we go, because we got to get ready to get out of here and go to this break, I want you to give everybody how they can get in touch, when is it, how they can get in touch, if they want to get tickets, all of that. stuff. Give that before we get out of here.
Absolutely, you guys. So once again, Man Cave 2025. We are hosting at the Grand Resort April the 12th through the 13th. If you want to grab your tickets, if you haven't yet already, we are on Instagram, and there's a link in our bio. It's Man Cave 216. That's where you can go. It'll take you directly to the link in our bio, which is an Eventbrite link that you can purchase your tickets. I do know that our rooms have currently sold out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
However, we do still have day passes available for people to be able to participate. So please, Man Cave 216 on Instagram is where you can follow us. April the 12th through the 13th, Warren, Ohio, at the Grand Resort. We are so looking forward to seeing you guys there.
Hey, that don't sound like it's going to be a bad time at all. And I advise everybody, if you get a chance to go out there, do so. We'll make sure we get your information. We'll spread it out to everybody that we know, and everybody who's looking for that information, please, we'll have that on our website and on our information where you can. And we'll shoot something on social. Tenora, tell Mr. Edwards I said hello.
I sure will.
You know, and tell him, you know, a long time no hear from. He was going to try to hook up again, but just let him know we always thinking about him. And again, thank you for all what you do for our community and everything you go. Demetrius, we'll see you soon, brother. All right. And we'll be right back with our Millennial Moment, to protest or not to protest. That's the question. We'll be right back. All right, y'all. Thanks again.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, no, you guys. Oh, no. Thank you,
I
man.
sent you guys some tickets.
You did?
Yeah, I sent you an email for free tickets if you want to come down.
I need to. I'll check my email. And it came from you, Tenora?
It was on.
I'm going to check my email and make sure I get it.
He'll be there too.
Yes, and I was just thinking, while you was talking, I'm gonna grab my son. I was just thinking, can I get him to get in my car and go with me? I'm gonna try to get him to go with me.
Whatever you
Yes,
need.
yes.
And then we can talk a little bit more. Please come.
Oh yeah, I'll be down. I'll make sure I come. I'll look for you. I'm coming down there just to look for you.
My name will be on our list. This is my son.
Oh.
I was texting back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you so much.
So everything's going good this year?
Yes, everything's going. And I'm gonna get you. We need to chat.
I call you.
Okay.
I just call you. I'll make sure. But
If not, I'll see you for sure.
for sure, because you're busy now. So I'm gonna call you after that, and I'll see you Saturday, and I'll call you so we can talk after this is over. That way, I know you're all about trying to get this done.
Yeah, but you've been on my list.
No problem. As soon as this, you'll see me there, and we'll get together after this is over.
Okay, and if you want to bring any Latif or any of your guys, just let me know.
I'll let you know. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Were you referring to this part? Or were you referring
You got a
to
PayPal?
Mm-hmm.
I think on the PayPal I can use my credit card. But you got to listen. This is what you do. Send me the invoice back, and in your invoice, put in your route number and your account number to where you want, and they'll put it through that. They call it ACH. They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can do it that way. We just don't do Zelle or those, but they do ACH. My man.
It's always good to see you. I love you coming on Saturday?
Yeah, I just told her I'm
Perfect. Please be there. Just come and enjoy yourself.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna come back and chill, man.
Are you free Saturday?
I'm gonna come with you.
You'll be there?
Yep.
All right. We're looking forward.
All right, brothers.
All right, y'all. Thank you, guys.
All right now.
I'll be
Thank you so
fine.
much. All right, we'll see y'all. I'm about to leave all my stuff.
Right.
You know I'm going to get one of those.
What?
That's the new ones, ain't it?
Man, it's the dragon fruit lemonade.
Is it good?
Lost my
Yeah, that's why I saw it. I was like, I gotta go get me one.
Providing a safe, nurturing space for kids. It's open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday with activities like bingo, exercise classes, and a food pantry day. Seniors can also join the foster grandparent program to mentor and tutor children. Visit EENH.org. Support for WOBU comes from the Alzheimer's Association, presenting a free caregiver lunch on Saturday.
That's what I'm doing now.
From 1:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the Fatima Family Center. This special event honors caregivers with a complimentary lunch, family portraits, and access to valuable community resources. If you cares for a loved one, this event is for you. To RSVP, call Frederick Knuckles at 216-342-5607. Get ready, Cleveland. It's your turn to speak up. Call in and tell us what's on your mind. Join the Strategic Moves with Kenn Dowell radio show on 95.9 FM WOVU or stream live at WOVU.org. Let's make your voice count. Let's go. It's time for the Millennial Moment. Turn it up. We're about to spill the tea on everything. Yeah. Get ready for some hot takes and all the drama.
All right, everybody. We're back. Cleveland, what's good? Welcome back to Strategic Moves with Kenn Dowell. Broadcasting live from WOVU 95.9 FM here in Cleveland. I'm your host, Kenn Dowell, the son of Glenville and a student of the struggle and unapologetically Black every day of the week. And today's episode, this is one for not the faint of heart, where it's for the folks who care about the future of the people and the legacy of our fight. Today's topic is to protest or not protest. And we're doing that in our Millennial Moment because today I'm going to sit down with our millennial expert on our panel today. And that millennial expert is none other than Zeke. He's a new employee here working with us here at our company. And he does our what we call content creating for our organization and all the stuff we do on social media. And we were having a discussion the other day where we talked about the protest, and there's been a big thing going on in social media today where everybody has put out this thing that's supposed to be, I guess, representing our ancestors with a voice that's saying, hey, sit your down. And people were putting that all over social media, telling everybody that you shouldn't go out here on April 5th because the way to protest is through our cell phones. He believed that the new way of protesting isn't not necessarily meaning that you have to go out there and hit it on the ground day after day, or I'm doing it that way. He believes that using your cell phone is the new form of protest. And I argue that to be different. So I want anybody who wants to get in on that conversation to call in at 216-271-0959. If you believe that using a cell phone is the new way of protesting and that Black folks should have set this protest out and not do anything. So I'm going to let Zeke give his opinion on why he has that position, and then we're going to talk a little bit about it. So go ahead, Zeke.
It's not that I don't believe that we shouldn't protest at all. I don't believe that April 5th was our protest.
And what you mean by that?
I don't think that protest was for us.
And you say that, but what you mean by that? Explain what you mean by that.
I mean that just as we suspected, a lot of us on social media, just as we suspected, it wasn't anything that to be taken serious. And the reason why I say that is because, ironically, I went out there with my wife.
Now, hold on, let's be clear. Mm-hmm. Did you go protest or you went to the store to get something to eat? No. So you didn't go protest. You saying you went on, tell them where you went and tell us what you did.
I went to go get food with my wife.
And you went to where?
I went to Ohio City.
Okay, you went to Ohio City.
I didn't equate at the time liberal white people and Ohio City.
So how long you lived in Cleveland?
My whole life. And
you didn't know that white folks lived in Ohio City?
No, it's not that I didn't know that. I just didn't think about it at the time.
Okay. So when you got there, you discovered there's white people here in Ohio City and they protested. Is that what you say? I mean, I'm trying to get to what is your point? I'm trying to get there. So let's go because we ain't got a lot of time. Okay, so you got to talk fast.
Really, my point is we protested. Actually, no, I'll say this. I feel as if it wasn't important enough. It didn't feel like a protest. What I saw was a festival. What I saw was a parade. I saw people with their kids, a luxury that white people have that we're not given, that we're not afforded.
So hold on. I just want to get clear. You saying that it was white privilege because white folks went to a protest and they took their kids with them. And that's a form of privilege.
No, I do believe that's a form of privilege.
Okay.
And I think also too, I feel like we're tired of the same old cycle.
And what's that?
Fighting for things just to stay the same. Even if we weren't there, if I wasn't there through the 60s, or like you said yesterday, Rodney King, I'm tired of that being our narrative. that we fight a little bit and we incrementally grow. We
So,
fight a little
so,
bit and we
so your,
incrementally
your
grow.
your point is we just sit our black
No,
down.
my point, yeah, absolutely. I think that we should do that, but I also think that
Don't do
there's power
nothing.
in solidarity.
Do nothing is the plan.
No, I think that
Okay.
there's power in solidarity.
So
I think that people
solidarity,
figured out a way that we have power and we have leverage.
and how we do that.
The next time we go out there to help them, because I'm not naive enough to say that we're not eventually going to have to go out there. But what I am saying is when we do go out there, there needs to be terms and conditions.
And who we're going to make those with.
We're going to make those with the people that we help win this war. That's what I'm saying. And how many times are we going to be fooled by white liberals who act like they care? And maybe they think that they do, but ultimately doesn't care enough to bring enough real change for us.
Okay.
That's my issue. And then you got white people out here giving ratings to, the protest was an 8 out of 10. What?
But who gives credence to that?
It's the mindset.
No,
It's
but
the mindset
there's
behind
there's
it.
a
It's a privilege.
there's a mindset behind everything, and there's stuff you give credence to, and then there's stuff you don't. Just like you giving all this energy to that, but you would give no energy to the fact that you said that people should have did other things. And my argument with you was, I understand if you didn't want to go protest, but everything I got from your social media, I'm gonna call y'all what it is, the keyboard warriors. The keyboard warriors, all I got from the keyboard warriors was a bunch of sit down. I saw a bunch of people jumping out the bed, jumping back in. And then when they did say do something, this is what they told us to do. Where those fans at? I heard that. Then the next one was, let's go play spades. Then here was the other one. You should do self-reflection. Now, I know for a fact they say it on social media every morning that the time you wake up every day, if you wake up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, that's the best time for self-reflection. And people do self-reflection every day. But the one day when it was time to do some type of fighting, the best answer we came up was that. Now, I would not have this much of a beef against it, or even I wouldn't even talk about this if it wasn't for the fact of what you said and how we came at it. And I came to this conclusion that I looked at a lot of platforms, and I really took last night to really dig deep into it. And I didn't see many people saying this. You know what? Sit your butt down on Friday, but meet me on 105 in St. Clair because we're going to clean up that whole area today. Meet me over on Huff because there's some vacant lots over there. And black folks, we're going to actually really do something in our community. We're not going out there to protest, but we're going to really make a difference in our community. I didn't hear many of those. And I'm not going to say there wasn't none of them because I can't speak on the world and I just got so much I can take in at one time. But what I did look, and I didn't see lots of that. I saw a lot. And when I say a lot, I saw a lot of people saying not to go out there. That's cool. And if you choose not to go out there, man, it ain't even worth it. I just knew that I grew up in a time where that's what it was. And from the excuses or the I ain't gonna even call them excuses because it's the words we use that upset people. I'm gonna say the reasoning that people were using for not going out there, I just didn't find valid. That's all. And I find valid that I told all my kids growing up, oh God, today must be the day. I taught my kids growing up that there is no rules to fighting. I told my son, first thing when he got ready to go and start going to school and everything, I said, son, let me tell you something. There ain't no rules to fighting. So if you get in a fight and dude is beating your butt and you look next to you and there's a brick, pick up the brick and do what you need to do to protect yourself. So when I say that is, we're in a fight for our democracy and for everything that's on the line right now. Now, whether you choose to get in the fight is up to you, but I'm in the fight. And as long as we got other people that's out there fighting, our Congress people, our mayors, individuals who gets up every day to say they want to go out there and fight, I choose to take that level and say, I want to fight. And if I know going into the fight that, you know what, somebody might get hurt, somebody might bleed, somebody may die, because that's what fighting is. There's no rules to fighting. So I don't judge when I know I'm in a fight to say, oh, Lateef, I ain't going with you, brother, because you might get our butts beat. Because when you called me and you told me, Ken, I need you to come with me and we're in the fight, I was supposed to show up. Now, it's up to me. That's all.
How they choose.
No, I'm not demonizing nobody. I'm just saying it from my. I'm only talking. No, I didn't say it. Martin Luther King called it that. If you look up other statements and everything, yes, he did. There's many people, and listen,
people love to talk about Martin Luther King.
There's many people say that,
but they don't talk about towards the end of his life and his philosophy, or his shift in philosophy on his peaceful protest.
He switched from a peaceful protest. He didn't say go violent. He just said that he didn't think we should be as peaceful as we were. He did not say go violent. So it was that, I'm also totally against the fact, and I'm gonna let Uni say something. I'm totally against the fact that us as Black people want to believe that if we all gather as a group, that automatically the police and everybody is coming against us. Because there's been states and there's been protests and there's been other avenues where that haven't happened. Yes, it has happened. If we want to go back and say, oh, it happened with Black Lives, yes, it has. But there's been plenty others that hasn't. Uni, go ahead.
I know this is unusual, but I think I understand Zeke's anger in this situation because, let's be clear, white people were in Ohio City doing protests because of what, Zeke?
It had nothing to do with us. It was everything that was affecting them. We weren't even, look at that flyer, it wasn't even included in that.
So why are you angry?
I'm upset because how many times as a Black woman, how many things are we going to start just for you to have to be able to go up to the podium and say, ain't I a woman? How many times are we going to have to do that and put our trust in these white liberals? The same white liberals MLK was talking about towards the end of his life. The same white liberals that James Baldwin has been talking about for all of his career. How many times are we going to put our trust in them and not, with no conditions, with nothing, but just our support, so then we can get on the other side of the issue and we're left in the dust again? That's my anger.
Okay, I understand that.
And they're talking about trying to have bouncy houses and I'm not even about to.
Man, you stuck on a bouncy house.
And
who cares? That's why I like it's who cares?
And that's why I asked where this anger is rooted, because it sounds like you are upset because their protests look different than ours. They have certain privileges that we did not want to bring our children to these protests because we knew we would get hurt.
Exactly.
So why would we want to bring our children? But I asked why they were protesting in the first place, because if something they are protesting isn't going to 9 times out of 10 end in violence, then they might feel comfortable bringing their children, and that's okay. But for us, we have to understand their fights is their fights, and our fights is our fights, and they don't look different. And we have to be okay with that. And instead of being angry, we have to do the work within our own communities to see what it is that we want to see.
Yeah.
But I understand your anger. We just got to rechannel that.
Yeah, but I think we rechannel it in a way to where, like I said, we have conditions.
It is conditions.
All of our fight needs to be included in yours in a real way.
Let me ask you a condition.
Not just this surface level.
When you say that, give me a condition. You saying we should put conditions? Give me a condition. So you saying we should?
They're never going to volunteer themselves for that.
So
you're talking about people that we're talking about a big group of one concentrated group of people, white people. That's who they are worried about. That's who they invited because that's who they are worried about. They're not concerned about us and what it is that we need. So we have to get on our own backs, on our own feet, on our own 10 toes, and figure out what it is that we want for our own communities and invite our own communities out to the same types of things so that we can get this ball rolling. I understand your anger, but we just channel it.
I understand.
Forget what they do.
I'm not completely against your point. I'm not completely against Ken's point. My point is, I understand people's feelings when it comes down to not wanting to protest, and I'm not the type of person to try to demonize their version of protest.
It's protesting. And listen, let me be clear about something. And it's not a difference in protest. It's what you protesting about. Okay, Black Lives Matter was a shot at the police department and the safety of police. The actual people that were supposed to be down there that was supposed to be keeping everybody in line was the exact same people that the protesters were against. Mm-hmm. So walking up to that was going to be volatile. It was. The protest yesterday was against Donald Trump, the administration, and what he's doing to mess up our Social Security, healthcare, education, and all that other stuff. The teachers wasn't going down there to fight nobody. Oh, you see what I mean? The police wasn't down there to stop you from protesting Donald Trump. They wasn't down there. The Black Lives Matter was a straight up, we were going right at the police and the safety department. And the safety people were standing there. That's why people in those protests walked right up to them, got in their faces, and said what they said because they were talking to them. You're the problem. The problem that yesterday and on the 5th was not out there on the street. The protest yesterday was all about what you say, solidarity. We don't like this. We don't like this. Black folks could have came out there and did it. They could have stayed out there. And to that point, there were Black people out there who still came. So my only point that I'm getting at is that I don't believe that, and when we started this thing off, we talked about using the cell phone and protest. I explained to Zeke that the cell phone and social media is not a protest, it's a tool. Protesting is a tactic and a strategy. You use your social media to communicate to people, to tell everybody what we're doing. Be at the site, be at this. Give me some opinions. You can get that. The protest is the action. The protest is me going out there, chaining myself to this plow, like some people did, and say, you're not getting in here unless you rolled over me. The social media guy gonna be there with his camera to take a picture of me doing that so he can put it on social media to show everybody, look what Kenn did. But without my protest, without my action, there's no social media. There's nothing that I can put on for the keyboard warriors to use their sword on because I hadn't did nothing. And that's my point of where I'm trying to go. So we use social media as a tool. We use protests as tactics and strategy to push our mission and our point.
So, Mr. Dowell, let me ask you this. What could you say you would like to see Zeke and his millennial friends do?
Use their platform to be able to say more than just sit down. Use your platform to say, you know what, we're going to not go out on the 5th, but we're getting together to clean up our ward. We're getting together to do what Uni say. Let's Black folks, let's come together and have a meeting to talk about how the next protest, how we're going to get in and who's going to work with us to make sure we're in. That's all. What I saw was fun. It was fun. I almost did it. Let me be clear, because I'm in this battle, and I'm be honest with everybody. I'm in a battle because I'm out here on the radio. I'm out here with my podcast. I'm out here trying to get people to follow me and do what I'm doing. So I almost was there, but it wasn't enough. It was like, that ain't you, Kenn, because you believe in fighting. You always fought. You don't believe in that. And I understand what they meant, but I didn't like them using that. Yeah, people got 5,000 likes. But there's never been a piece of legislation in Congress or the Senate that was passed because they got 1,000 likes. There was never a piece of legislation or anybody moved anything in this city or this county or the state or the government because social media told them to. It's always done by the power of the people. And that's the thing. And so we may change that over the years into Zeke's people, maybe in 20 years from now, because that's what a lot of people going is there. But for right now, the fight, we're going to keep fighting for what's right. And what's right is what's happening on the 5th, whether you believe it or not. You didn't have to go out there, Zeke, but you're not going out there. The folks who did still saved your Social Security if you want it. If you didn't go out there, they still saved your education if that what comes out of it, if you want it. If you didn't go out there, they're going to still make it safer for you, whether you wanted it or not. So it's up to you whether you get out there or not. But get out the way of everybody else who is. And don't make stuff that's out there that's telling people to not ever fight for what's right. Never. We always fight for what's right.
My point was never to make it seem like never to go protest. Never do anything. My point was for April 5th, for this thing, they're going to fight this themselves while we regroup and we come up with tactics for our own. And yeah, you seen that one clip because I sent it to you, and I'm sure you've seen it other places too. but there are millions of other people out
You
here
did
on
the same
social
thing.
media
Yes.
that are bringing out new ideas, bringing out things that we can do, holding together carpools so people can go to these black-owned businesses, so they don't have to go to a Walmart, so they don't have to go to a Target. Both are important. Is what is my only point was both are important.
I just think that we got to pull it all together, like your ideologies, um, what we do as a people, the traditional way or whatever, how we protest, because it's like when you got one set of people over here doing this and another set of people over here doing that, then it allows us to basically be divided and conquered. And that's pretty much what Project 2025 did. They put all their cards on the table and did everything that they wanted to do in concert to create this chaos.
Latif, I've seen the footage of every platform. We were pretty united on this one. We were pretty much united on this.
But just imagine if all those people that was on social media was downtown at the protest and on social media. Just how big of an impact would that have been to everybody if all those people that was saying sit down or they was doing their thing on social media came out, and we had whoever, you said the liberals were there, then you had Kenn and his people there. So just imagine how much more people, how much more of an impact, how much more footage would have got out, and they would be saying, man, that's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that's upset about what's going on. It's the masses and the impact that changes things. And sometimes we got to get into one area and do that and express that. Right. Even if we believe in different ways of doing that, it's the power of everybody coming together all at one time that makes the most impact.
All right. Well,
I get that, but
like I say, man, I feel sorry for what's coming up.
I just had something to say. That me personally, I'm proud that we came together on one thing. I'm actually proud of us. I'm proud of what we're doing with Target, and I pray and I hope that we keep kicking them while they're down. And we go in the news. Walmart's next, so I'm proud of us, and I pray that we can take this energy and put it to something more productive. To Kenn's point.
Zeke, what would you say to your other millennial counterparts out here listening to promote that same thinking within them?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that we're doing it. I mean, yes, that was a trend. Trends come and go, but from what I'm seeing, and the push for Black people has been outside of sit down. It's also been how can we have our economic boycotts, information campaigns that people have been running on social media, and community empowerment to what Kenn's doing. So I think all of it is important. And I think about the single mom who has 3 kids that can't afford to go out to protest. But you know what they can do? They can pick up their phone and do something about it now.
Like what? You keep saying that. What can they do?
Spread information. Continue information about economic boycotts. Social media activism is a real thing.
All right. There it is, y'all. You heard from the millennial corner of our program today. Zeke is at the Millennial Moment. He believed that social media is going to save us. He's Elon Musk, and who was that people they call him? Skynet. Watch out for Skynet. That's going to be next, y'all. Man, Skynet, the Terminator. Oh, yeah, brother. We're going about the Skynet. All right, we're going to end with this. Let's take a look at the lay of the land. Every generation gets tested. Our Rodney King, our George Floyd, and beyond. Our ancestors didn't sit down. They stood up even when it was dogs in the place, fighting against dogs. Let's be clear. The fight for justice and equality is a fundamental right, not a spectator sport. It's not trendy hashtags. It's a relentless boots on the ground battle to demand more than just digital activism. The social media atmosphere of our voice it cannot replace the power of collective physical presence. History has shown us in real change is forged in the crucible of the direct actions. Considering the hands-off protests that erupted nationwide on April 5th in cities from Washington, D.C. to right here in Cleveland, Ohio, thousands took to the streets to oppose the terrorism of what was going on with Donald Trump's administration and all the work that they're doing. These are not just mere gatherings; they were powerful demonstrations that united the resistance. In Cleveland, protesters convened at the West Side Marketplace. Their voice would echo through the streets, demanding accountability and justice. To the millennials who believe our ancestors wanted us to sit down, I say to our ancestors didn't endure fire hoses, police batons, and attack dogs for us to become complacent and keyboard warriors. Okay, this march has this march they bled, and some of them even died, and some of them couldn't have the privilege to stand up to be heard. Dismissing the power of protest is not only dishonoring their sacrifice, but it weakens their the foundation of what the struggle was really all about. For the martial law government, martial law, as it relates to the martial law governments of what was going on there, and people feeling that was going to be the reason why you didn't want to show up because you were scared of martial law. Scrutinizing the fear is not to be cautioned. Is not really a real good argument about it, because most of the stuff that goes on in our community today are issues, and we feel as if we're in a martial law state right now. Every day you walk out the door getting gas at some of the neighborhoods and things of that nature. So I don't believe that was a big enough reason for us to not go down there as well. So my only thing that I want to end with is just saying that everybody has a right to do what you want to do. There's some people who want to get in the way, and there's some who don't. But I just say that the only way that I know to get things done is to get in the way. And if you feel that getting in the way is sending out a tweet, a hashtag, or pushing on a like to a comment that you got, then maybe that's your way of protesting. But my way of protesting and the way that we get things done is being right there in your face, because being in somebody's face usually get it done. And that's what we've been seeing done over the years. So with that being the case, I want to thank everybody for listening to Strategic Moves with Kenn Dowell today. We had a wonderful discussion. Tenora Edwards was on earlier with the thing that she's doing with African American men, which is really, really powerful. Please, if you heard about that and you got some information, check that out. I think it will be a good thing for us to all get together on. And if you want to continue to listen to more about what we discuss and things we talk to, please check us out on our YouTube channel at YouTube at Kenn Dowell. That's YouTube at KENNDOWELL. And you can get a chance to see this program and even more, because we record every one of these programs. So till next time, I want to tell everybody, thanks for coming on to our program, and to all our listeners, to all our listeners, I want y'all to keep fighting for what's right.
You got some fire about you today, boy.
Mm-hmm. I was a little passionate.
That's why I was like, your anger, like, I don't know if your message was translating through your anger, and I wanted them to fully understand what it is that you were saying.
Oh, hello?
Yeah, I listened in. I was trying to call in, but the phone lines wasn't working.
Oh, you know what? I forgot all about that. You know what? You should have texted me. I would have told him. We would have said something.
I didn't want to text you because I knew you was on the show, so I texted Latif, and I think I did text you too.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why it was going to the voicemail, but
I can call out, but it's not calling in for some reason.
But yeah, it went well.